Hello, everybody, and welcome to another exciting edition of the OverMark podcast. I'm one half of your co-host, TJ. And speaking of co-host, he's the man who's been calling it straight for decades, with takes sharper than a steel chair shot, and insight deeper than the history books of this business. From the Monday Night Wars to today's biggest shows, he's watched it all, studied it all, and isn't afraid to tell you exactly how it is. Whether he's breaking down a 5-star classic or tearing apart the latest creative misstep, you know he's going to keep it real. Give it up for my tag team partner, the voice of reason, and the hammer of hot takes, Dave.
Woo! You know, we need to get like a little clapping.
Oh, yeah, we do.
Like a...
Yeah.
You know, like a group, it's like 5 or 6 people clapping.
Yeah, something to remember for next time. But yeah, how's it going?
Yeah. It's going pretty well. How about you, man? Thanks for that nice introduction.
Oh, yeah, that's not bad. I got my buddies in town. It's funny, he's actually, one of them sleeping in this room, so this is actually the bed that he's sleeping on, and I didn't feel like taking it out, because it didn't really matter, you know? It's a floor or bed. All my stuff's still up here, so you can still see my backdrop, so I think it's fine.
We lead real lives outside of this show, if you guys could believe that.
Yeah. But, no, everything's good. One of them lives up in PA, another one in Cumberland. That's the ones that I go and visit up in Maryland a couple times a year. But yeah, they're visiting. It's been cool just hanging out, you know, and gonna watch SmackDown with them after this, and just general, you know, just good to have the weekend off.
Yeah, it's nice long weekend. Happy Labor Day weekend to all of our American friends.
4-day.
And to our not-American friends as well. Sorry that you don't get a long weekend like the rest of us. Hopefully you'll have a nice Monday nonetheless, though.
Absolutely. But I think that being said, we're going to be talking about Raw from 8/25/25 and Dynamite from 8/27/25. We got some news like always, and we're going to have our last review, episode 5, at least of this season, WWE Unreal. Like we said, it's a season finale, and you'll see how we feel about that when we get to it. It's I got a little surprise for you, or a spoiler. I think this was probably my least favorite episode, but we'll talk about that when we get there. And before we jump into everything, we'd like you to follow all of our social medias at OverMark ENT. They're there. We're here. I guess I don't think we are. We're not queer, right? So you probably don't have to get used to it, but you still can. So I mean,
I've been called that before, but I'm not.
Yeah, but I think that being said, we're going to jump right into Raw here, and it's going to be our quick breakdown. So we're just going to jump right through both these shows so we can get to the stuff that people probably want to hear more than this. So this was Raw, like we said, from Monday, 8/25/25, and they had a sellout of 12,265 at the BP Pulse Live in Birmingham, United Kingdom. So we're going to jump right into it, and they had Dragon Lee defeating the World Tag Team Champion JD McDonough. This was a solid in-ring match, but I just could care less about Dragon Lee.
That's basically how I felt about this match. It was actually, you know, good in-ring match. I don't really care about either one of these guys. Dragon Lee feels like a interchangeable mask guy almost, like you would see in AEW. I mean, we did see him in AEW. That's how he ended up here. But and then JD McDonough has a big old head.
Yeah, he does. And then we had Kofi Kingston defeating Penta. This wasn't bad. All the shenanigans that happened outside the ring, and the New Day is always entertaining, and everybody seems to like Penta, so overall not bad.
No, enjoyable match. Why doesn't JD McDonough have a headbutt move? Sorry to circle back to him.
Yeah, I'm sure give it enough time, and somebody at that that works for that place will figure it out. But yeah, then we got Rhea Ripley defeating Roxanne Perez. This was a solid match.
I enjoyed this, and it's just the continuation of featuring Roxanne.
AJ Styles defeating the World Tag Team Champion Finn Balor. This was a really good match. I liked it.
Yeah, I did too. This is one of those shows that basically every match was really good.
Yeah, and then we had Braun Breaker defeating LA Knight. I like this, but it was a. Excuse me. Sorry, guys. I couldn't make
Bless
it
you.
to the mute button, but this was a little bit underwhelming considering who was involved.
Yeah. I wouldn't say that I expected more from it because, it's a TV main event. But, yeah, with the people involved, it could have delivered it at a higher level.
Yeah.
The run-in shenanigans at the end were cool.
Yeah, overall, not a bad Raw, better than the past couple weeks. And we'll get to our ratings at the end. But my high point of the show was Styles versus Balor. I thought it was a pretty good match.
It was. It might have been one of the best match, if not the best match on the show.
What was your high point?
Mine was the Breaker LA Knight stuff, throughout the show in the main event. And obviously you saw how hyped the crowd was for Punk at the end there when he came out.
They
it was
always
a
are.
really big deal.
Yep.
The overseas crowds are great.
Yeah, and they always love Punk. But my low point was Dragon Lee versus McDonough. Like I said, I didn't think it was a bad match, but I just don't really care about either of the guys, especially Lee.
Yeah, mine was the Becky Bella promo. I'm kind of Becky'd out a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, she's I like Becky. She's not bad, but I can see why that might be something that you would say. But I gave the show a 4. We don't do halves because if we did, I think I might do a half here, but I think the 4 is good.
I ended up giving it a 5 because of the crowd. I was teetering back and
That's
forth
fair.
on 4 and 5, and the crowd made some of these moments in the show that much bigger because of the crowd reactions. You had sent me those Steve Austin YouTube things from years back, obviously, and when I watched them, I mentioned to you, he's over with the entire crowd, like the entire building. Everybody's coming unglued for him, and there's not people like that anymore. Maybe Rhea Ripley, but I mean she's not as over as Steve Austin, I don't think, right?
No.
Maybe I'm out of touch.
No, she's not. She definitely gets great reactions, but she is not close to being as over as Steve Austin. But she's definitely a pretty solid hand for sure. And that being said, why don't you get us through Dynamite here?
Oh boy, and getting through it sure is a good word for describing AEW Dynamite. It took me 3 tries to get through it this week. I continuously fell asleep. I don't know if that's a testament to the quality of the programming or the testament to me being middle-aged. It's probably a little bit of both. But we have AEW Dynamite from August 27th, 2025. They had a sellout attendance of 916 at the ECW 2300 Arena in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Before we jump into the quick match thing, I just want to note that it looked cool on TV. Obviously when they were running these smaller venues, they've done a really cool job with the setup, and they most certainly did here. And obviously there was like a little bit of a nod to like an ECW style of setup with the fencing style setup. I thought it looked cool. What did you think of that before we jump into this?
I didn't like it nearly as much as like the theater looking in the old style places that they've been doing. Like I thought it was like somewhat unique, but in the end they just kind of put some cages up against walls or like some fencing. Yeah. So it's the crowd was good at the place. So there was that.
Maybe I was just nostalgic because it was the ECW Arena, but yeah, for 916 people, it was a pretty hot crowd. You know, some of those people probably used to go to ECW there.
I bet.
Judging by some of those people's looks, some of them needed to go to the gym too. But anyway, or get some deodorant. Quick match results. Here we go. Rapid fire. Jon Moxley defeating Daniel Garcia. And then afterwards, they had some kind of like Daniel Garcia's conflicted and Moxley's like dapping him up. This shit was not for me. I don't know. It's not great.
Yeah, why would it be? It stank. It's tough to care about John Moxley, and they just keep having him on the show over and over. And then Daniel Garcia, just why would you ever want to see him do anything?
Right? If you guys have listened to us ever before, you know that old Daniel Garcia is not one of our favorites. Well, and then after that, we had Harley Cameron and Chris Statlander defeating Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford. I didn't hate this match. You know, Penelope is kind of the weak link of the workers in here, but I like all these girls to varying degrees. So, this match was all right.
I'm not saying it's bad, but you get the same match every week with the same people.
Yeah. Well, speaking of the same thing every week, we had an all-star 8-man tag team match that TJ, I believe, asked me where are the stars when this match was happening in real time. And we had the Don Callis family. Has anybody called him Don Callis? Yeah. I'm sure they have. Yeah. Hechichiro, Josh Alexander, Kazuchika, Okada, and Takashita defeated. I can't talk tonight. God damn. Bandito, Brody King, Speedball Mike Bailey, and Kevin Knight in a match not for the ages. I don't know. I was trying to think of something clever there. I don't have anything for these guys. It's not great. Tired of this 8-man whatever every week.
Month or every week. That's all I got to say about it. Every week.
Yeah. Then we had the AEW Trios Championship. The Ops, Samoa Joe, Shibata, and Powerhouse Hobbs defeating Ricochet, Bishop Khan, and Toa Leona. I had kind of forgot that the Trios Championship and the Ops existed there for a while, if I'm being honest with you. But I didn't mind this match. It's good to see Joe back. He must be done filming Twisted Metal.
Yeah, this was just okay.
Yeah. Then we had a Falls Count Anywhere match with Darby Allin defeating Claudio Castagnoli. This match is all right. You know, Darby, I don't know if he's going to be walking upright by the time he's my age.
Nah, this was a good match. They beat each other up, but why should I care?
Yeah, well, exactly. Most of the matches on this were, the in-ring is always, we always say this, that the AEW in-ring is always of at least a decent quality or a high quality, but just we have no reason to care.
Yep, 100%.
So the high point, low point, my high point was that Edge and Christian getting physical with FTR and their whole little promo back and forth. Christian hit them with, like they're doing the promo and FTR's kind of like in the aisleway. And Christian hits him with the, I heard that you have a father.
Yep. He did it
Edge
to both
snatches
of them.
the microphone. Huh?
He did it to both of them.
Yeah, and Edge snatches the microphone away from him. He's like, no, no, no. And the crowd's like, let him do it. And he's like, all right, you guys are sickos. Yeah, and he's like, and they're both dead bitches or something like that.
I also heard you have a father. But yeah, that was pretty good. My high point was the MJF tape segment. I'm always going to give MJF the best stuff.
That makes sense. He is definitely one of, if not the best thing on the show. I'm riding the nostalgia high at Edge and Christian right now.
I get that.
If they're on there each week, like how yours is going to be MJF most weeks, if till this runs its course, it'll probably be Edge and Christian.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, heck yeah. Well, my low point was Mox versus Garcia. I'm tired of seeing Moxley. I don't want to see Garcia. I feel like we hadn't saw him for a while, and now we're seeing him again, and I just.
Yeah, mine was the same. It's just Dana Garcia stinks, and Moxley's just super overexposed and just not feeling it, don't want to feel it, and I give the show a 3.
I also gave it a 3, which it seems like we've been giving a lot of sub-5 scores to both shows lately. And all I can say to that is y'all need to step your game up.
Yep, I agree. It's been a lot of pretty poor wrestling lately, and I don't know, to the people who like AEW, apparently this was better than the pay-per-view, and the pay-per-view was the greatest show of all time. So what does that say for this one?
Yeah, the greatest show of all time nonsense. When you were messaging me that, I'm dumbfounded. I don't know.
Yeah.
This has to be young wrestling fans
Yeah.
that didn't watch in the 90s and early 2000s.
Well, even then, even if they didn't watch then, they just really want to like something. They really want everybody else to like it too. And if you don't, there's a problem.
Well,
But
yeah, the problem is with them,
yeah.
not us.
Well, I think that being said, maybe we stop talking about some problems and start talking about some news.
Oh boy.
Where'd that come from?
I got news for you.
Where'd he come from? He's here all the time, but I don't ever see him. But
Well, you know, he's very busy. He just passes through.
okay. But anyways, we're gonna jump right into this, and we got a news report, and that is of Orange Cassidy being cleared to return amid AEW injury wave. So we were talking last week about all the guys that they have injured. Like Swerve and Will, somebody else too that we talked about, but their injury list has been piling up, especially after Forbidden Door, and there's a lot of guys set to get surgery. Swerve was successful, so he already got his done. I don't think Will has yet, but there's finally one bright spot for him. One of the most popular baby faces is cleared, and that would be Orange Cassidy. And Fightful Select's reporting this, and they're saying that the two-time AEW International Champion, Orange Cassidy, has been medically cleared and will be back on TV sooner than later. Cassidy's been sidelined since March 2025 after tearing his labrum, which required surgery and 5 months of rehab. Fightful also noted...
Isn't that a lady part? Oh,
yeah,
no, wait, never mind.
That's what I was thinking. But yeah, Fightful also noted that Cassidy's been backstage at multiple AEW events in recent weeks, and he's waiting on creative plans for his return. So, since in the meanwhile, Will Ospreay will undergo surgery for 2 herniated discs, pressing on a spinal cord. They wrote him off at Forbidden Door, like you saw if you were watching, and Swerve we just talked about, and apparently he's been dealing with his problem, a torn meniscus that dates back to 2019, and he had successful surgery this week, so good on him. I'm sure we'll probably see him back sooner than well, but you never know. Hopefully they're both back as soon as they can be. And, they already got Kenny, and it seems like he's going to be on TV because he showed back on Dynamite this week. So we'll have Kenny, and we'll have Orange Cassidy. And I don't think Orange Cassidy's on the level of Will or Swerve, but it'll still be somebody that'll pop up that Tony really likes to shove on TV a lot. And I like Orange Cassidy. He's not bad. It's just I don't need to see him all the time. What do you think?
Well, I think that there are people out there that will try to paint this as a legitimate 1-for-1 for either Swerve or Ospreay, and this is not close. I know there are folks out there that enjoy Orange, and I won't lie and say that he hasn't entertained me before, because he has. But I don't perceive him as like a main event guy like Swerve or Ospreay. I mean, he's mid-carder at best.
I think that is a correct way to look at it. And I think it's good to have the mid-card title on him. And I think the international title he actually did okay with, although he was kind of like being booked like Superman. But I was entertained by some of it, more so than I probably would have been.
He was able to pull off some neat wins.
I mean, when you compare him to somebody like Kyle Fletcher, how they view him since he had the title, or Adam Cole, or anybody that has that TNT title, they had better runs for him than any of those guys. So at least you can say the intent to book better is there, and we'll see how this goes when he comes back. And I'll say I'm going to look forward to it because I'll have an open mind.
But I like his little leg kick thing that he does. I like when he had that exchange with Sting.
Same here. But
entertaining.
We'll sign off on the Orange Cassidy, and we'll sign into the next one if you want to take us into that, Dave.
Well, Miss Kelly Osbourne blasts Becky Lynch for the disrespectful comments that she made about Ozzy Osbourne. And they're on the Raw this Monday night. Obviously, we did talk about it during the thing, but this was part of my low point. She cut a heel promo during the face-off with Nikki Bella, and to rile up the crowd, she talked about Ozzy. She said, "I'm not wrestling in Birmingham. The only good thing that came out of here died a month ago. But in fairness to Ozzy Osbourne, he had the good sense to move to LA, a proper city, because if I lived in Birmingham, I'd die too." And, that's kind of a low-class comment, but people have made comments like that before, and I don't think that, ultimately she was kind of putting him over with the comment,
Yeah.
but
She wasn't talking
people
bad
didn't
about him.
like it. No, she was talking bad about Birmingham. Sorry, I had an itch.
You're
Not
good.
Ozzy. And Kelly obviously saw it, and she wasn't stoked. And she said, Becky Lynch, you're a disrespectful dirtbag. Birmingham would not piss on you if you were on fire. Shame on the WWE for allowing such things to be said about my father and his home. She's obviously still upset and grieving about her father who just passed away recently. So I understand her not being stoked about the comments. There are reports. Old Brian Alvarez said that WWE is weighing the idea of a public apology or a private one to the Osbournes. And I don't know, Lance Storm weighed in, and whatever he had to say was boring, I'm sure. No, I'm just kidding. We got the quote here. Unless you have explicit permission from the family, I think using someone's passing for cheap heat is just bad. Makes wrestling feel lowbrow and cheap. That is a take. He's not necessarily wrong, but he's also not necessarily right. It just sometimes things don't land with people.
Yeah.
Yep. And I don't know. What did you think of all that? There's other stuff here, but we don't need to.
Well, it's just saying, this was to set up to Lynch versus Nikki Bella, but that's kind of irrelevant to the story. But I don't know. I kind of like stuff like this. I like using dead people for heat. I mean, I know it's messed up, and maybe she did need to get permission, but I think she was putting Ozzy over, and she did it in a way that was relevant to. I don't know, like when it comes to that's like heel 101. That's wrestling level. I mean, that's good stuff. I liked it. Does there have to be a right and a wrong here? I don't think so. But like Ozzy, if Ozzy understood wrestling, because he was on the shows a lot, maybe he did or he didn't, but if he did, he would have been like, all right. And it's another way to keep your dad alive in a story of wrestling, because they're all huge fans of your dad, and your dad's a huge fan of wrestling, and I don't see anything wrong with it, and I think it's cool, and who am I? If you disagree with this, I could understand why. There doesn't have to be a right and a wrong here, like I said, but in the end, like Charlotte used her passing brother for, like, remember with her and Soraya. There's been multiple times, like Mark Briscoe, they use his brother and stuff. They just did that recently with MJF, and I know they had the permission, but I think it's like one of the ultimate heel things you can do. And I just like, if somebody really understands the business, it's like the way to go.
Yeah. It's always going to garner sympathy from the crowd and things of that nature, or heat, depending on what you're trying to do with it.
People just don't understand stuff, man, and they take stuff the wrong way. It's a diss to Birmingham, not Ozzy.
Yep, that's what I thought too. That's how I took it.
Yeah. Well, I think we need to take it and talk about something that we brought up the other day, and we got a report here. This is kind of like an updated report, part 2 maybe. So Jim Ross signs a new 1-year AEW contract. So we're following up on our previous report about him potentially jumping ship to WWE. Jim Ross is staying with AEW. So we got here that legendary announcer Jim Ross has officially signed a new 1-year contract extension with AEW, shutting down rumors of a WWE return. Speaking on his Grilling JR podcast, Ross explained that he finalized the deal with AEW president Tony Khan during the company's recent UK tour. Ross confirmed, and this is him saying in quotes, "I signed a new contract for a year. Got that done before I left. 1 year, next summer. Next August, I think it is, my schedule is basically to work pay-per-views and assorted appearances on TV. I expect to do all pay-per-views, and we'll see where that takes us. I'm happy with my deal." He hasn't been doing all the shows like he was doing before because he was sick. So, he was battling his cancer and everything. But I guess now he's feeling up to doing all the shows. And we kind of got to address some of the things that were incorrect about the way that this was reported. And we ran with the story. So we want to let you guys know that we're not going to try to stick by something that was incorrect. If we're wrong about something, we're going to come out. We're going to talk about it, correct it, and also correct the source that we got it from. So Ross addressed the online speculation that he was negotiating with WWE, calling the reports baseless. So he saw somewhere online, somebody sent him something where he was negotiating with WWE to go back. And he hadn't heard that one. He hasn't talked to WWE, and he has no plans to go back. He added that his schedule, freedom, and relationship with AEW talent were key reasons he's staying put. He likes being where he's at, and he likes the schedule that he has, the freedom he has, and he enjoys working with these young talent. He's happy where he's at. He says he really is. Not a lot of stress and pressure, which I could see that. And
Makes sense.
yeah, so his future is basically what he said, that this contract runs out next year in August, and the focus will be on pay-per-views and selected TV appearances. And his most recent broadcast role was at the AEW vs NJPW Forbidden Door, where he called select matches. I think it was 2. He's been with them since 2019 and remained one of the most respected voices in pro wrestling. So, like I said, good for JR. I'm sure he's getting the money. In the reports earlier that said he was talking to WWE, I mean, that's right from the guy's mouth. Obviously, he wasn't. Who wasn't? Uncle Dave that ended up saying that he was talking with WWE? Because whoever said that...
Uncle Tom.
No, Uncle Tom. But whoever said that was definitely incorrect. And, we just want to state that sometimes you don't want to run with everything. And, we just don't want people thinking that we're running with stories that aren't true. And we're happy for JR. He deserves it. And if he's happy, we're happy. And what do you think, Dave?
I'm stoked for JR. I'm glad that he's getting that bag, and he has the freedom to choose to work wherever he wants. And it's just nice that at his age, that he has competing places trying to get him. He's experienced. He knows his
He's
shit.
earned it.
I am personally a little bummed. I would have liked to have seen him back because, like TJ and I had talked about, maybe not on the show before, but privately for sure. It would be cool for him to be involved in all these different specials, interviews, voiceovers, documentaries, things of that nature.
Yeah, it would.
Because there's a lot of stories for him to tell, but there's still time for him to tell those stories, and it's a 1-year deal. So who knows what the future holds.
Absolutely. And I think I know what the future holds for us.
Well, we got some more news, it looks like.
Yeah.
Well, we have our last news report here wrapping up. Sky Daily plans to sue doctors over possible medical malpractice in Hulk Hogan's death. I said metal there. It's medical, by the way, for those that are listening. WWE Hall of Famer Hulk Hogan passed away, obviously, on the 24th, 2025, with early reports attributing his death to a heart attack. In the weeks since, though, new details have surfaced suggesting that his passing may have been linked to complications from a neck surgery performed earlier in the year. Hogan's widow, Sky Daily, revealed in an interview with the Daily Mail that she's preparing legal action against doctors. I'm sorry?
Is it her company?
What's that?
Well, you said Sky Daily, and then she was talking to Daily Mail. Is it her company?
Oh, wow. I honestly didn't put those two things together. No, that's not her
That's what we're
company.
doing.
No,
we pay attention to the details.
that's hilarious.
Sorry.
He was paying attention. I wasn't. But anyway, she's preparing legal action against the doctors involved in Hogan's treatment. She claimed the surgery compromised his phrenic nerve, the nerve responsible for stimulating the diaphragm and controlling breathing. She said, "We are investigating for possible malpractice. If you have shortness of breath for a long time, it makes you very sick. That's not something that's alarming, sudden cause of death. It's something that wears on you and makes you weak." Yeah, I mean, I deliver medical equipment, and people that have like COPD and stuff like that have shortness of breath, and same type of thing. It's something that kind of wears you down over time. You're not just instantly having a cardiac episode, but after so long being short of oxygen and having that condition, there's nothing you can do about it. That is an unfortunate thing. She also added that Hogan had experienced persistent breathing difficulties in the month following the operation, and when asked if this contributed to his death, she answered definitely. So, according to Sky, an occupational therapist present at the Hogan home when he stopped breathing told authorities that Hogan's phrenic nerve was damaged during the surgery. The therapist reportedly claimed that it had been severed. Sky disputed the wording and agreed that it was left damaged. Daily Mail identified the therapist as Justin McCarmy, a 54-year-old from Land O'Lakes, Florida. McCarmy allegedly spoke to police about the issue, though when approached by reporters, he denied his identity and refused to comment. That's kind of shitty. You guys shouldn't be out in this guy's name, but maybe he probably should also not be.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of not great either way. But Sky confirmed that all the information about Hogan's neck surgery had been documented well before his death. She ordered Hogan's body to be cremated once the medical investigation is finalized. She has dismissed conspiracy theories surrounding Hogan's passing, including a speculation about drug prescriptions by his personal physician, Dr. Gerald Fitzgerald.
Oh, wow.
What a name. What a name.
Yeah.
Well, and then we had some Brooke Hogan parallel concerns. This new report echoes statements by Hogan's daughter, Brooke Hogan, who had previously called for the release of the body cam footage and official medical records, questioning whether negligence played a role in her father's death. Sky Daily intends to move forward with the malpractice case. An autopsy has been completed, but the results have not been made public. Hogan's body has not yet been cremated, pending the conclusion of the ongoing medical and legal inquiries. And man, that's not great. Poor Hogan. He doesn't even, doesn't even get to, be laid to rest yet. They got to deal with all this stuff. It's not great. What do you think?
I don't know. It's I mean, what can we say? We can't be on here saying something definitely happened or not, because, a whole bunch of legal issues and reasons, but if we're going to say speculation that this stuff happened, it seems like this is definitely something that happened with the damage to his nerve or phrenic thing, whatever it's called, and it's a shame that we kind of got robbed of Hogan, and he didn't, he was looking tired to me in his late days, but he didn't look like he was in better shape than I was.
Right.
And it's just something definitely doesn't add up with how this is going, and I just feel bad because he's got a family and he had a wife, and nobody deserves to have their life cut short, and especially somebody who's still got a lot that he can do positive for society and his family, and everything you hear about Hogan. The guy's filled with lots of love, and just a shame that these kind of things happen. And if there was something going on here, the people that are responsible 100% deserve to pay criminally and legally and financially. And I'm sure we'll know about all this stuff here in the future very soon. But that being said, there's not really much to add to this. Of course it sucks, and of course it's something that a lot of people aren't going to like, and we're going to stay on top of it, and we'll let you know when this whole thing goes down. Anytime there's an update, you can guarantee you that we'll have it for you. We'll give you the facts on it, but like I said, right now I don't like jumping on something before it's kind of conclusive that that's what happened.
Right.
I'm not getting sued.
Well, I got a car in the driveway that's worth about $3,000. You got.
They'll garnish your wages, man. It doesn't matter what you're worth. Wage garnishment's a definite thing, and some people are petty.
Yeah, that's not great.
Some people we're nothing in the scope of reality of things on these podcasts, and somebody could just be looking around and be like, I got him,
Yep. Well, speaking of things, before we move on to the next thing here, I have the Real American Freestyle ticket numbers up in front of me. Since the last time that we reported about it, they have moved an additional 976 tickets. So, that's pretty good. I think, what did we talk about it, 2-3 weeks ago?
Yeah.
It's been a minute. But so they have 641 tickets left. So they're closing in on those sellout numbers. So that's pretty cool for them.
Yeah, it is. So you think that little boost, for the Hogan boost, was real?
Maybe. We have let's see, the show's tomorrow. Actually, tomorrow at 7. Maybe we'll watch it. I don't know.
Why not? What else do we have to do?
Yep.
I'm going to sneak one in on you.
Huh.
This is something we talked about earlier. I'm going to throw a segment in, and we're gonna headline it, and it'll be a whole little thing. So we got Stephanie McMahon thinks that you should use a VPN to watch WWE for free. It's kind of nuts because we've been covering this a lot lately, where you're getting screwed going from Peacock to ESPN. ESPN charges $30 a month. They're doing a little thing now where it's a package that if you get it now, it lasts until January, where you can get Hulu, Disney, and ESPN, the new ESPN app, for $30 a month. So they're trying to package in and suck you in. So this is what Stephanie McMahon said. So she paused her billionaire princess interview with Roman Reigns on the latest episode of her What's Your Story podcast, and she ran a quick ad for VPNs. During that, McMahon suggested that everyone could bag themselves a sweet deal and check out the international version of Netflix, and like a little wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And it's just kind of funny because it's like she literally works for this company. She makes money. She's like sitting right next to the guy who's 100% running the company at that point, and it's kind of funny. Let me unmute this and we'll listen to it real quick if you want. But
WWE on Netflix is truly the best thing ever. But there's one catch. Not everybody gets that. A lot of you are still watching WWE the old school way, on cable, dealing with boring commercials while I'm enjoying uninterrupted action. Let's fix that with today's sponsor, Surfshark VPN.
it was literally, it was 100% an ad with the way that she said that. That wasn't.
Oh yeah.
That wasn't like her just saying, "Oh, you should use a VPN." She staged it like an ad, and it was an ad placement on her podcast. That's ridiculous.
For the VPN that they're shilling, that's hilarious.
How long do you think it took Nick Khan to call her once he saw that she did that?
He
1 minute.
Probably texted Hunter and was like, "Hey,
Yeah, what's going on here?
Brother.
She's going to cost us hundreds of millions of dollars. Like that. I don't know what you call that, but that is like, I mean, I appreciate it. That's Stephanie keeping it real, and that shows you that like she doesn't care now that she's not a part. Like she could be with or without this. She doesn't care. But man,
she don't need this.
Yeah, that is a. I don't think that's something that I didn't put on my bingo card when I woke up when I saw that news. Right?
No, and that was a good thing to add in.
Yeah, no, you're good. Like, you got anything to add to that or?
No, not really. I'm looking at your Nintendo 64 box there on top of the TV. Has that always been there? I remember the machine being there. Was there something in front of it before? Or?
It was. I put the Oz Fest shirt over it. Do you remember? For a little bit.
That's right.
And I figured it now. It's okay to take it off. You know, it's. I do actually want to get a picture of Ozzy to put up, so I will have that at one point. But yeah, that's the only difference there. But I just thought that would be cool to bring that up, to toss that in there, because it's, you know, way to go, Stephanie.
Yeah, and thanks for it's kind of throwing one out there for the fans, I feel.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I feel like they'll like that one. But something that I've been enjoying Unreal so far, and we're going to talk about episode 5 here. It's the WrestleMania review, and so we've done it, everybody. We made it to the end of WWE Unreal. Well, sort of. The fine print now says that more episodes are coming next year, so don't get too comfortable. So we'll be circling back to this in 2026 for such thrill rides as how Brock Lesnar got to come back again, and how Goldberg's last match came together, which I'm sure you guys can't wait for all that. So the official description promises that a season of shocking storylines culminates at WrestleMania 41 arrives in Sin City, but victory's no guarantee, and the stakes have never been higher. So, yeah, we got Cena the heel, and Cody's on the vodka bus. So we kick off with Cody Rhodes in the Wheatley American vodka bus. You know, we got a little corporate synergy here. And we're talking John Cena in the big heel turn over in Brussels. Cena makes his first post-turn entrance to a course of booze and delivers the promo equivalent of a middle finger. He says that what you guys have earned is nothing. And Paul Levesque pops up to remind us something always goes wrong on the road to WrestleMania. In this case, Jey Uso. Writers say that he looks blown up. He says that the pressure is crushing him, and then Hunter admits that they set him up as the guy and now wonder if he can handle it. No pressure, Oos. So then it cuts to Charlotte versus Tiffany Stratton, and we got a little bit of real tension here. So on the women's side, Charlotte picks Tiffany Stratton as her Mania opponent, and Trips frames it as a restamping of Charlotte's GOAT case. But the Chicago crowd has other plans, and they start booing her, and then she turns into like a little mini spiral. Hayes says that Flair stomped too hard on Tiffany, leading to Stratton's infamous divorce comeback. Triple H isn't thrilled, and he corners Tiffany backstage to scold her and demand an apology. In other words, welcome to WWE, where stepping off script gets you a stern dad voice lecture from the boss. Then we got Roman, Seth, Punk, and Heyman. And the men's main event gets discussed next. It's Reigns, Rollins, Punk, and the X Factor, Paul Heyman. And then Hayes reminds us that Paul's on-screen alliances tend to spill into real life. And back at the HQ, Hunter struggles with the eternal booking questions. Do you go logical with Punk winning, or shocking with Seth going over? Ed Koskey lobs that what if Seth leaves with Paul? Curveball, and suddenly the chessboard changes. WrestleMania Night 1, Jay gets the ball. So CM Punk plays it mellow, talking about slowing it down and savoring it all. But then he casually mentions shitting himself in the ring. Because of course he does. Charlotte and Tiffany deliver a match where Charlotte does the honors, launching Stratton into the future while humbly saying, "Now I climb the mountain again, I guess." But then the night belonged to Jey Uso, with Jimmy cheering in Gorilla and Jay beats Gunther for the belt. His immediate reaction, anxiety. He says that it feels like 100 pounds are strapped to his shoulders. Tripp shrugs but admits they gave him the ball and he delivered. But then we jump to WrestleMania Night 2, where the women steal the show apparently. And then the big call is made that Rhea Ripley loses her title in a triple threat between Rhea, Bianca, and Io, and they delivered in a certified 5-star banger. I don't know about that, but Trips beams like a proud dad, telling Rhea to stop downing herself and just effing be you. She's clearly his golden child, and honestly, that is the right call. She's 100% the best chick in the company right now.
Oh, yeah.
So Bianca, ever relatable, has a post-match food list in her phone while Rhea shops in a taxidermy store. And the wrestlers apparently are just like us, except with panic attacks and pay-per-view main events. And then it jumps to Cena versus Cody featuring Travis Scott. So then it comes the much-hyped Cena versus Cody showdown, complete with Travis Scott showing up in slow motion like molasses. The match ends with Cena winning the belt and everyone politely clapping backstage. And Triple H is defending it as saying it was what it needed to be. And we'll call it something else. A letdown. Yeah, it kind of was. Cena says that he proved his top speed, though SummerSlam later told a different story. Travis Scott threatens to stick around, which, that ended up not happening.
Thank God.
Yeah, and we got a little bit of closing thoughts here. So Triple H wraps things up with the classic WWE Never Ends sermon, and there's no off-season, only the next Raw script writing or waiting. And Shabuzi's Vegas plays the crowd cleaning the arena. Sorry, I said that goofy. And Cena philosophizes. I'm all messed up. About Mania being the middle of a storyline. And Hunter reminds us that the business is relentless, but thank God it never ends. Except this show, at least for now. And then I guess the verdict here is this finale started slow, but it hit its stride in the middle between Jay's coronation, Tiffany's step up, Punk's tears, and Rhea's crowning moment. It gave us a Mania feel, Cena vs. Cody. And then overall, I guess Unreal delivered a strong season. And we'll be back in 2026 to see what else they've cooked up. So we got a strong finish with some rough edges, but a worthy capstone to WWE Unreal's first run. And I'll go over a couple highlights here. I really enjoyed Punk. He got pretty emotional here. You could tell this meant a lot to him. And I liked the shitting segment. So Punk in general was the highlight of this show.
I agree. From him talking to the other wrestlers and asking Charlotte if she ever shit herself in the ring.
Yeah.
And I mean, he was just pretty much great the whole series.
I agree. I enjoyed it though.
Well,
this was probably my least favorite episode out of all of them, but not by much. I just like the other ones because they were explaining more of the business, and I don't know. It's just me personally. I don't know why. I just went with my feeling here. But
well, I mean, also we had to have all the Travis Scott nonsense in this episode. Yeah. So,
but overall, really enjoyed Unreal. I'm looking forward to the next season. But that being said, we're gonna wrap up this episode here. You want to take us on out of here, Dave?
Well, thanks everybody for listening. We'll have our Sunday episode. Ideally, it'll be Sunday. Maybe not. We'll see what's going on. We might do it Monday. Who knows? But we'll be covering SmackDown and Collision, and maybe we'll talk about the Real American Freestyle a little bit. I imagine we're going to watch it, so we'll probably at least gloss over
brother,
what we thought of it. It's the first. We should cover it probably. Yeah. It's the first. Yeah, so count on that we're going to cover it. Hell with it. It's on there. And thanks for all of our Overmaniacs for listening. Go out there and follow us on all of our socials at OverMarkEND. Like, comment, and subscribe so that we can strangle out old algorithm. That guy's a real POS.
Yeah, dude.
And thanks TJ for the fun episode.
Thank you.
And I hope you have a blast with your buddies that are in town. It sounds pretty rad.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Hell yeah.
They'll be here till Sunday, then they'll be leaving.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So see, maybe we will do our episode on Monday.
we'll see. I think they're leaving a little bit earlier, so it doesn't matter either way. We can do it either or. But that being said, I appreciate you, Dave. I appreciate everybody for listening. Like always, just like, subscribe, check out the social media, engage in the conversation with us. We really appreciate it. But on that level, we appreciate getting out of here too. And if you guys make us a part of your weekend, we appreciate that even more. So we're going to go ahead and sign off. We appreciate you guys again for the 500th time there that I keep saying this. See y'all later. Peace.
DJ's yelling at a gift, Dave's eating crab. We skipped our bills to watch Raw live and ranked 800 wrestlers just to survive. Our muscles are fat.